I do want to bring in the former Assistant Secretary of Defense, Larry Korb. Larry, a good friend of the show. Larry, this is interesting. She's been, for all, measured, accomplishments that she's had in the UN, she seems to have been a big success at the UN. And a lot of folks were taken aghast this morning by her announcement that she was leaving. Do you think that there's something else in her future?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. I mean, whether you're a UN ambassador for 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years, the fact that you've been UN ambassador in addition to being a governor of a very significant state in the primaries, I think really enhances her political future.
You think it's a political future? Could you see her maybe coming back to the Trump administration? There has been talk that there could be another role for her, because the president today, let's be honest, was very complimentary, seemed very satisfied with the work she had done, and their relationship seems to be in good standing, unlike other departures from the administration that we've seen.
Well, I hand it to her. She was able to do that without, for example, the way Secretary Tillerson left, for example. But I don't think so, because one of the reasons I think she was ready to go now is because she and John Bolton disagreed about a lot of issues, like putting sanctions on Russia after they, after they used chemical weapons in Syria. So I don't see her coming back as long as John Bolton's there. Now, if he leaves, obviously she could be Secretary of State.
That's interesting that you say that. Is there anyone that you can think of right now that would be good to replace her at the United Nations? Again, I mean, whether it was her stance with North Korea, her fight with Iran, frankly, her strength when it came to the funding issues at the United Nations, the fact that our country spends so much money at the UN, which many have just kind of dismissed and said that the UN just takes a lot of, one of my colleagues, Charles Payne, said earlier today, it takes up a bunch of real estate in New York City. What else do they do besides not pay their parking tickets at the United Nations? Who else do you think could actually step into that role?
Well, I think you could get one of Senator Bob Corker, for example, who's stepping down as chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee. He would be great in that job. Obviously, he's got experience. He knows the issues. He gets along reasonably well with the president. He endorsed Judge Kavanaugh, comparatively early. I think somebody like that would be great, because he would, bring a lot of gravitas to the job. And I think the other countries in the UN would be very pleased with that.
It's interesting because she was, again, when we talk about her relationship with the president, even though she did not endorse him during the 2016 primary, she was actually a critic of the president, still, though, took this job in the administration. When they had that anonymous New York Times article come out, of course, heard round the world, where it was an anonymous official saying the president was basically unstable. She wrote an op-ed for the Washington Post defending the president and saying that she said, "I proudly serve in this administration. I enthusiastically support most of its decisions." Thought that was interesting, and the direction it is taking the country, but I don't agree with the president on everything. Do you think that as she walks out the door, and again, that door could be back open to her in the future, do you think that the president truly does respect the fact that she didn't always agree with his decisions?
Well, I think she does, and she didn't go public with it, like, for example, leaking to the press or anything. But her reputation in the Republican Party is really enhanced. As you pointed out, she was very critical of the president during the campaign, but yet, given the way he, talked about her when she stepped down today, she's appeased that wing, if you will, of the Republican Party. So she's got the standard wing, if you want, and then the Trump wing.
Larry Korb, you're a great voice in all of this, and it's going to be interesting to see who the short list includes. And Senator Corker, I like that one. That's interesting. Larry, thank you very much, sir. It's good to see you.
Okay, thank you for having me.